The same problem of data integration, data cleaning exists in the enterprise. General Electric, believe it or not, has 75 procurement systems. What's a procurement system? Well, if you want to buy a paper clip, you go to your procurement system. It asks you for what charging number you have. It spits out a purchase order. You take the purchase order down to Staples and you get your paper clips. So that's what a procurement system does. The obvious correct answer to how many procurement systems should an enterprise have, the answer is 1. GE has 75. Why is that? Well, it's because they buy companies who have a procurement system. They sell companies. You know, it's like bingo cards. You buy and sell things. And most things come with a lot of software. And unless you're willing to spend the time to integrate all of this software into your current systems, you end up running multiple things. So they're running 75 of them. So the GE CFO estimated that he can save $100 million a year if he can just manage to do the following. Now, $100 million, you know, that adds up after a while. That's a fairly big number. So if it can empower each of the 75 procurement officers, when their contract with Staples comes up for renewal, if he or she can figure out the terms and conditions of the negotiated by the other 74 of his or her counterparts, and then demand most favored nation status. So all you have to do is figure out what everybody else negotiated and demand from Staples, you know, most favored nation status. $100 million a year. All you have to do is integrate 75 independently constructed supplier databases. And they have like 9 million supplier records, and you've got to figure out which ones are duplicates so that you can figure out which ones are actually Staples. $100 million a year, data integration, data cleaning problem. And enterprises also want to do data integration on parts, customers, lab data, lots of other things. So this is worth a huge amount of money in the enterprise, and it's mostly a data cleaning and data integration problem. Why is data integration hard? Well, for every local data source that you want to ingest, whether you're the iRobot data scientist or the GE person inside the enterprise, you got to find the data source, you got to ingest it, meaning convert it from whatever representation it has now into some common representation. You got to perform transformations. So if I'm the human resources guy in New York, I deal with salaries in dollars. The guy in Paris deals in euros. I've got to perform data cleaning. A good rule of thumb is that 10% of your data is wrong or missing. And you've got to fix that. You've got to do schema integration. My wages are your salary, all that stuff. You got to perform deduplication, which is GE's problem. Find all the records that actually correspond to Staples. And then oftentimes, once you find clusters of records that correspond to the same entity, you want to find what are called golden records, golden values, which is you want to figure out which address of Staples you want to use. If I have 2 different ages, one of them has got to be wrong. So you got to do all this stuff, and you've got to do it at scale.